What is up, guys? In today's video we're going to be spectating random players in Fortnite Zero build for the first time in chapter 4. So it's the first time I'm making one of these videos with this map and loot pool, as well as many of the other changes that we've gotten so far in chapter 4. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful or informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you think of chapter 4 so far and what your biggest struggle has been so far as a player. Interested to see that and see if there's anything that I should make future videos on, if it's something that comes up a bunch. We're gonna be landing Anvil Square. This is usually a pretty hot location in chapter 4, like the mid-map POI that a lot of people go to. So we're gonna let this player elim us, and then we will be spectating them. Stank Nasty 55 is the person we're on board with. Hopefully he doesn't get pickaxed off spawn. Okay, W gets those kills. If his pistol's loaded, he should have an easy kill here. Maybe not. This guy's a shotgun. I didn't realize that. GG's. I'm sorry, Stank Nasty. He ran into D's Clips, who had a shotgun, who eventually got third-partied as well. Oh, this player is good. So before I record these videos, I usually try to get a win or to get a crown to give to them, but also that tends to put you in a higher quality lobby if you just won. And I actually beat this player last game to get the crown. This guy was a solid player. He's very weak here, though. He only has 10 HP, so he can go down rather easily. You just see how chaotic this POI can be. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Anvil Square is one of the hot POIs this season. If you are looking for a hot drop, a place where you can get a lot of kills, especially with a bus path like this where there really wasn't another like ideal location, Anvil Square can definitely be it. Especially this castle right here, there often tends to be a lot of players landing there. So one thing this player did nice is both the previous kill he got and the one he just got there, he made sure he had right shoulder peek versus both of those players, and it made it very easy for him to play those fights. For some reason, he didn't pick up the shotgun off that player he killed, but I guess he just likes the scar. Hammer is super important. If I was him, I would get that shotgun from the person he killed in the other room, and then also get this hammer. He's going for the hammer. Maybe he just goes no shotgun. I don't know. The shotguns this season, I think the Thunder shotgun is really good. The Thunder shotgun is probably my second favorite shotgun ever in Fortnite, behind the original pump. But I've seen a lot of people kind of saying it's trash or that it hits weak and that they just run SMGs. But, yeah, I think the shotguns are really good this season. Or at least the Thunder shotgun is. I don't think the Maven shotgun is very good, but I think the Thunder shotgun is insane. This player seems intent on not having a shotgun at all, though. And you see why his aim's actually kind of cracked. He's probably going to die here, though, because everything needs to be loaded. He's going to have to go to the scar. And he's going to die here, I think. Nothing's loaded. Oh, he gets the kill. GG's. But yeah, one thing that kind of holds the twin mag back compared to like past SMGs like the Stinger or the Combat SMG is only the 20 rounds in the mag. It's actually a ridiculous SMG, but only having 20 rounds in the mag is not ideal. He is going to go for the shotgun. I guess he just didn't want a white shotgun, or maybe he's just kind of overwhelmed. He needs to heal up here. I think this is a good play. This is a greedy play. If he was desperate, he could just use these splashes. Because there is another player approaching him on a dirt bike, but he's going to try to get the med kit off. That's good. He needs to check all his guns, though. Unfortunately, you can't see the ammo when he's when you're spectating. But I think like everything in his inventory needs to be reloaded potentially. But what I was saying about the twin mag SMG is it's a really good SMG, but it only has 20 rounds in the mag. And it reloads fast every other reload. So when you have this weapon out, you can look at the reticle, and there's 2 magazines. The top one is the fast reload, and then the second one is like a normal speed reload. So with this weapon, you kind of need to keep it loaded. He went for the machine pistol over the twin mag SMG. Personally, I don't really care for that. I like the tactical pistol the most out of either of those weapons. As far as the spray weapon goes this season, I really like the tactical pistol. I think it's insane. And you saw off spawn people just shredding each other with it when we were on top of that tower. And they just got like kind of third party to death. But I think the tactical pistol is better than both the machine pistol and the twin mag SMG for Zero build. And then I think the twin mag SMG is better than the machine pistol. Personally, I just don't really care for the machine pistol. I don't really, I don't know. It's just like, it isn't terrible, but I just don't really ever feel good while using it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have that like thing that makes me want to use it. It's just kind of there. It's an okay SMG. He's going to try to kill the person on this dirt bike. He's also going for the scar instead of the red eye assault rifle. I prefer the red eye assault rifle. I'm going to have a video in a few days about all the assault rifles and what they're good at, comparing the scar, the tactical AR, and the red eye. But I think the red eye is just far and away the best choice right now, especially because of the way the game is with the hammer. I feel like a lot of fights just kind of start with you getting like an opening tag or two on somebody and then rushing them with the hammer. And with the red eye assault rifle, you hit for like 30 something body and then like into the 50s with a headshot. I think even 60s in some rarities. So if you want a weapon that can just perform very high damage in a few shots, I feel like the red eye is the best choice. And then you can hammer on them. And on the flip side of that, a lot of people are running the hammer this season or the shockwave bow. So I feel like the amount of just like straight up AR fights you get into this season is quite low because it's easy for you to close the gap with the hammer, but it's also easy for the opponent to get away from you using the hammer, you know, or the shockwave bow, either one. So I just feel like because of how insane the mobility is this season, just like straight up mid-range fights are kind of few and far between. And I feel like a lot of fights are either someone hammering away from you or you getting tags on somebody and then hammering onto them. One thing I'm sad about is that we can't see the augments these players select when they're selecting them while spectating. That's kind of unfortunate. Because there definitely is a fair amount of discussion to be put into the augments, what you like to take, and like kind of how it complements your playstyle or the items you're using. And that is why I think the tactical pistol is better. So he ends up getting this kill here, but for that range, the tactical pistol just straight up fries. He would have easily killed that person with the tactical pistol, probably before they even got shots off. And there's some argument to be made for maybe the machine pistol over the tactical pistol in extreme close range. But if you're going to be using it in that type of range, I feel like you definitely just want the tactical pistol. And one thing that makes me really enjoy the tactical pistol over both the SMGs for zero build is that added range is really nice when somebody is trying to hammer away from you, you know? When someone's hammering away from you, but they're not quite super far away yet, maybe they're like 15, 20 meters away, the tactical pistol just like eats at that range. And when you combine it with like pistol amp or light fingers, you reload really, really fast. I thought he needed to reload his machine pistol. I don't know if he got it off or what. What is this zone? You won't let me Z zone? What the heck? That's so weird. Alright, well, let me see the zone. Alrighty then. So I would definitely take that purple red eye. He definitely wants the purple machine pistol at the very least if you're gonna use that. But I think the red eye is just the best assault rifle in the game right now. The Scar is good, but I feel like the Scar's value is in like versatility. Like if you wanted to run something like the Excalibur, the Chug Cannon, bunkers, you could run just like Scar shotgun and then you have room for that added like utility item or power weapon. But as far as the main AR goes, I don't think it's that great. I think it's better than a lot of people give it credit for. I've seen a lot of people hating on it because they're used to the hammer AR with less bloom. Dealing with somebody shooting an Excalibur, they're on the other side of the bridge. Even if you don't really know where they are, it can be hard to know where people are sometimes this season with the Excalibur or the bow. But just seeing where the projectile hits and then kind of reverse engineering it, you can see where it came from, you know? So like the fact that it hit this wall behind him here right now means it had to be coming from kind of his left area. I don't think it was the player he just saw. I think they might have been some, yeah. They're on that mountain over there. But had he done what I was saying and kind of tried to predict where they were based on where the arrow hit or the sword hit, it would have a much easier time knowing where they were. And that could be very important this season with both the bows and the Excalibur. Because I feel like both of them are pretty like quiet weapons. Definitely the bows more so than the Excalibur. I don't really know what he's doing here. He's like really intent on finding that player underneath him, but I think that is like the least of his worries right now. I feel like worst case scenario for this player would be he ends up getting into a fight versus that person that was under him somewhere. And then not only is he dealing with that player, but he's also dealing with this Excalibur player. I don't know why he's so thirsty for this fight. This is weird. He didn't tag this person before, did he? Yeah. Like, he gets the 1v1 there, but I think the other person that was Excalibering them before is hammering on it to third party. Maybe not. But I didn't understand why he was so intent on getting that fight. Almost won it, but this player put him down. And this player had a white thunder shotgun. Like, you saw how hard the player we were spectating got hit for? And this player just, like, dropped him with a white thunder. Like, the thunder shotgun is so good. The white one has the potential to hit for 170. The gold one has potential to hit for 195. So even the white one hits incredibly hard, potentially. And it's like that for every shot. So, like, last season, for example, we had the prime shotgun, which had, like, the one good shot, and then the rest were terrible. But with the thunder shotgun, it's, like, huge potential damage every shot. I'm not sure what this player is doing either. Maybe he's looking for shield items of some kind. There's a big pot right there. I think that big pot would be worth getting for him because he has the med mist anyways. He could heal in zone rather easily. I get this big ammo box. There's potentially shield in it. Yeah, okay, sweet. He gets minis at least. I'm not sure what this player is doing. No, you're fine here, bro. I dislike this play so much. So he could have just drank the minis and then hammered the zone, or he could have like been somewhat chill about getting to zone and used the med mist. Even when zone is hitting for its maximum, which is 10 damage a second, the med mist stays neutral with it. And I wish I could open up the map or the menu to see, but when you open up the map on the left side of the screen, there's an indicator that tells you how much the zone is hitting for, and it's not hitting for very hard right now. I feel like that is one thing that a lot of players struggle with, is like playing around the zone, but especially when you have a med mist in your inventory, you're chilling. But the zone doesn't hit hard in this game for a while. Like, I fight people around zone oftentimes, and like, this guy's dead here, by the way. Yeah, there's nothing he can do. But I fight people around zone a lot, and like, it seems like people are very like nervous to take any sort of storm damage. And you just don't really need to be that way. Like, it's not ideal to take zone damage, but especially if you had a med mist, it's really not the end of the world. And if he kind of stayed back, used those minis, and then med misted in zone rather than hammering, this player probably wouldn't have known he was coming to hold him. Or he could have drank that big pot earlier and did the same thing. But instead, he decided to like kind of do neither of those things. I don't think he even drank the minis before getting in the zone. It's just like, I feel like that's one of those things that kind of, it makes sense, you know, if you're playing a battle royale, you don't want to be in zone. But in Fortnite, zone is not a problem until very later on. And as you see here, this is why the red eye is just insane. Oh, that's actually a DMR. But yeah, that player took like 100 damage. He's dead to fall damage, I think. Okay, never mind. It glider redeploy. That scared me. And I've never been the biggest fan of the DMR. But I think the tactical pistol, I like using the tactical pistol as my spray weapon anyways, like I kind of talked about earlier. And I think the tactical pistol perfectly covers for the DMR's weakness, because the tactical pistol is fine up until like, I want to say like 30 meters, maybe even more. Like, it's very easy to use this tactical pistol outside of what you would consider SMG range. And so you really wouldn't have to deal with like those awkward close range fights with the DMR. And you do get all the positive of the insane damage. We have 4 opponents remaining for this John Wick. He's got very good weapons. I'm not the biggest fan of the DMR, but I mean, he hit his shots there. So if he's used to using it, it can be quite good. I just really, this season, I don't really rate the DMR highly. I never really have, but this season especially, because of how much mobility there is in the game with the hammer and the shockwave bow, like the balloons, the ability that lets you like get the zero gravity jump when you sprint. I feel like there's so much mobility in the game that using a projectile weapon like this gets really awkward. Because it can be hard to hit somebody when they're hammering anyways with like a red eye or even a scar. But if you're using a DMR, I feel like it's very unlikely to go your way when you're trying to hit somebody that's using any of those mobility items. And like, sometimes that can really matter. If you're able to get a few tags on somebody while they're hammering away, you might just get the kill that way, or make them weaker as they're pushing you, and then you have an easier time fighting them. I would be surprised if this player wins the game. He doesn't really seem very decisive. Like, if the game falls into his lap, he can win it, but I don't really think he's going to go like above and beyond to win the game. But we'll see. I mean, he does hit his DMR shots, but like, he definitely has a more like passive playstyle than what I like. And there is a player back in that direction that he's just looking, though, is shooting with the Excalibur. I think if you shoot that like blue crystal right there, it blows up. So he could force this player off that cover without even exposing himself, I think. I think if he damages it blows up or does something, right? Or maybe it's just when you pickaxe it. I saw a clip of somebody pickaxing it. It's like he heard me, bro. I don't really mess with this area, though. I haven't been here too frequently. That was not the play. Three opponents remain. I think like everybody has a crown in this endgame. He's looking for the player that was back here with the Excalibur, and I think that's a good play. He definitely wants to clear this part of zone before moving forward. We just saw someone drop towards the beach. I think the person with the Excalibur might have been in the sky with balloons, which is unfortunately an option people have this season with the balloon augment. And with the hammer in the game, you don't really run much risk of taking any fall damage because you could just easily hammer away from any fall damage that would occur. So that is like a somewhat cheeky playstyle you see more and more people employing. I don't think it's very good. I feel like that's the type of thing that just relies on your opponent not knowing about it. But like the more we get into chapter 4 and the more people are used to dealing with that augment, I think the less that playstyle is going to work. And then the people that have been doing that to get wins throughout the entire chapter like haven't gotten used to actually fighting. So I feel like it kind of just like makes you worse in the long run. This isn't good. He like moved up to this position. He needs to kill this player, but he's acting like the person doesn't know he's there when the person clearly does. But this is really bad for both of them because there's that player in zone on castle that just has a really easy time holding them. You got some decent damage on this person. I think you really just want to go aggro for this kill. The less time you're out here fighting, the better. I feel like he could have been using his pistol there and his life would have been easier. That was kind of what I was saying is like those fights are kind of awkward for the DMR. But the pistol would have actually been fine there. Like, if you haven't used a tactical pistol, you might be surprised at how accurate it is and how much damage it can actually put out over range. Like, not ridiculously far range, but somewhat of, like, what would be medium range for a lot of weapons. The pistol is fine. So, I do think the pistol combos well with the DMR. He's going to go to it. This guy was using the TAC AR. I'm not the biggest fan of that weapon. I see it getting a lot of gas online, but as you saw there, it just got, like, gunned by the DMR. Even when the DMR player missed several shots. 1v1v1. We know there's a guy in the castle, and I think the other guy is in the sky or something. Sitting in this bush. But it's going to be pretty obvious he's sitting in this bush, I think, as time goes on. And it's going to be easy for that Excalibur player to remove this. Or pile of leaves. So yeah, the one player's there. The other player is probably to his left, since that Excalibur player is shooting over there, I would imagine. Any damage he gets here is probably irrelevant. Even if he tags this guy, like, he's not going to get anything out of that. Is he hitting an invisible barrier on the leaves? What is going on? That is so unfortunate. Unless this is just, like, a bug from, like, the spectating POV. But there is a lot of bugs this season. This is just the strongest pile of leaves ever, I guess. I would have thought that hammer would have destroyed it. He can get the kill on this player maybe if the game allows him to. But the person on the castle, he was never really going to get enough damage to inconvenience that player, I don't think. And then, like, what is he going to do if he does tag him, you know? It's not like he's going to push all the way over there. The castle player does have to move, though. He might end up winning this game. This is going to be really timing-based, I feel like. But he doesn't seem to be the most comfortable in a fight. And I don't know why it wasn't allowing him to shoot out of his leaf pile. Okay, yeah. So the player on the castle is using the bow strat with the balloons, I think. So they're trying to just exist in the sky, and then kind of like get a cheesy one that way. Maybe push this John Wick in his own, and it might work versus these level of players. We'll see. He needs this kill. Get involved, please. Thank you. He killed the toy soldier. The toy soldier is the better player of these two, I think. And see, now the toy soldier is just in the sky again. And he could just rinse and repeat that. And it's very awkward for this John Wick to deal with it. With the DMR. Or maybe it wasn't even a toy soldier. It was a Renegade Raider. I don't know why I thought it was a toy soldier. What is he doing? Oh, he might lose this. I feel like this was his game to win, but he's like kind of choking. Maybe he wins this. I don't have faith in this aura at all. Oh no. GG's. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, like that playstyle with the bows and the soaring skies or whatever could be inconvenient to deal with, but I don't know. Like if you get hit this season, you just get hit. A lot of the guns hit really hard, but that is going to be it for today's spectating video. If you guys did enjoy it, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.